Hi guys, welcome to the mobydick 7.11 release. So a bit of a VoIP guy special. This is a really good one for me. First ever English release keynote.
Yes, yeah. That's really good.
Yeah, finally, we got there. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to introduce the latest innovations that we have brought out in mobydick 7.11. So firstly, welcome. Secondly, Matthias, what's the first thing we're going to look at?
I have to look at? No. Yeah. The terminal server installation is the first thing. So we start with some simple, easy things, and then we go to our main topic, which is ContactCenters Recharged.
Exactly.
But start simple.
Take it away.
The first thing we did is we enhanced the terminal server client. So the mobydick client was always able to install on terminal servers, for sure. But he used as installation directory the user directory. Right. So if you have 100 users, it installed 100 times in 100 user directories. So this is not a big deal because it has about 100 megabytes, 150 megabytes per user. It's not that much, but if you have bigger terminal server installations, then it's a mess.
Right, okay.
So we did something. You can make a right click on the mobydick client, install setup, and then you can choose as administrator, as usual in Windows. And if you do so, then it chooses the program directory as home dir.
Right.
And then it installs once and not many times.
And then every user can access it?
Yeah. Yeah, uses that directory. The disadvantage is, for sure, only the administrator can do an update. So if you update the mobydick, the administrator has again to update the terminal server installation for mobydick. But some administrators asked us, this is what we want. Because I want to maintain the installation, I want to perform the updates.
And they have a bit more control?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what we did first.
Okay. Right then, so that means we move on to our second point, which is we're talking about REST access.
Yes.
I take it. So what have we done there?
First, maybe we explain what REST is.
REST is a good
idea. REST is an API, which is very, very simple. It's an HTTP API, where you can access mobydick and tell mobydick, please dial a number, or give me the latest CDR data, so the journal data, who called whom, or something like this. So it's used very often. Right. And we want to enhance it a little bit because you had to, in the past, you had to create a user, a machine user, that some application talks to mobydick about user, CDR, dials and stuff.
Okay. And what's it like now?
Now it generates it automatically. So there is automatically created a user or a machine account for you. Okay. And you can connect those. And we move the documentation and everything you need into mobydick, so that it's more accessible and easier to access. I can show this.
Yes, please.
There is a new entry in information, which is developer. And there you can show the REST credentials. They are created on the fly. The first time you click here, they are created. And you can use them for connecting other applications to mobydick. Okay. And if you think it's no longer secure because somebody knows the key,
you can regenerate it.
Yes, you can regenerate it. I can show it. And then you just have to use that key in your applications, which talk to mobydick. So it's very easy. You don't have to log into the shell, add a user, maintain the password. It's much safer and much more quickly.
Cool, good. Nice.
For sure, you can access all the API data now in one view, where you can go to our wiki and read everything about that, and the right place. You can easily find the right places in our documentation now to start developing. We did already a lot of videos about the REST API and stuff in German language, I think.
Yeah, more than likely you didn't do it with me, so.
Yeah, so I think there is a documentation. I'm sure there is a documentation in our wiki, but there is no further material how we connect it. We made a German video about it, and we connected a barbecue temperature control.
IT Meets Barbecue a few years ago,
to mobydick with those APIs. Okay. And they're very powerful, but very easy to use. And if you didn't try it, try them, because it's really a great opportunity to connect mobydick somewhere.
Just a fountain of knowledge, giving tips out today, aren't you?
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, so there you go. Try the APIs, which basically brings us on to one of the start of our next big feature, prompts.
Yes.
What have we done with the prompt system?
We had already a prompt system, and the prompt system was already multi-language. So you could have some prompts for English, for German, for Spain, and so on. And you could also add some custom prompts.
Okay.
And some custom languages if you want to.
And a custom prompt is generic to your company, not to...
Yes. Maybe welcome to pascom.
Yeah.
You will be connected to the next available agent, or sorry, you're calling out of our business hours.
Yeah. Okay.
Call again later. This is a prompt, and this is a custom prompt.
Okay.
All the other prompts are for explaining maybe the voicemail box. If you call your voicemail box, then it says, please type 1 for blah, 2 for blah. Those are all prompts which are system prompts, and they are already there.
Yeah.
You could change them if you want to, but it's a lot of effort. There are 300 prompts for a mobydick installation.
Yeah, that would be quite a lot of effort.
Yes.
So let's just stick with the custom prompts. What have we done there?
Yes. Let's have a look what we've done there. You go to Advanced Prompts, and there you can see all the system prompts. In former times we had a number, so you could scroll down and say, hey, this is 300 or something, but no longer.
Right.
This is the name of the prompt. It's available in DE only, this one. But the next one is available in DE, in English, in Spanish. And this one is customized, and this is new. Now we store if a prompt was customized.
Okay.
So you can just export all your customized prompts if you want to. If you want to carry them to another mobydick installation, or you want to backup them. That's now easy possible. In the past, you could not distinguish between those prompts.
That were customized and those that were standard, so you basically had to export the whole lot just to be sure that you got the right ones back again.
Yes, something like this. So this is one thing we made a little bit easier, that we really store it in different places now, and you know this is a customized prompt.
Okay.
The next thing is, if you edit it, you can now do a playback directly in the browser.
That agent is already logged on.
We choose the English one. Let's see.
El agente ya se encuentra conectado.
Maybe this means the same.
Well,
We don't know. And you can remove the customization. This one is customized by me. Let's see.
Hallo, test.
It's great. And you can remove the customization, then it's again the original one, so he does not remove it.
okay.
If it is a non-system prompt, then for sure I can remove it completely.
Right, okay.
Just delete it. But if it is a system prompt, I can just remove my
Customization. And then it restores it to the standard prompt. Okay, cool.
The next thing to mention is the share button. In the past, we just had a system which you could call. It was *50, you had to dial, and then you could say 1 for record a prompt, 2 for listen to a prompt, and then you had to enter the number of the prompt and the number of the language.
Right, okay.
The problem was, if you know the numbers, or you could just guess the numbers, you could overwrite every prompt in mobydick you wanted. Everybody could do that.
Ouch.
So this is maybe it's not a problem because you have to know a lot about mobydick, but if you know a lot about mobydick, then you could just go to every installation, not from outside for sure, but you could destroy something. Or maybe you just did an error when you type in the number.
And you overwrite the wrong prompt and so on and so on. Okay.
Okay, so we had that problem in the past. We solved it. I can show you how. You just click on the share button.
And what's this? It generates a sort of password?
Yes, it generates a sort of PIN because the password is too long or too encrypted, so that you can type it in easily. And then you call the *50 again, and then, no, you don't have to, we can just explain it.
Okay, fair enough.
Because it does not work.
I like live demos.
We will do a lot of live demos later.
Okay, fair enough.
So to save time, don't call there. Now it's that code, and you have just to enter the code.
Right.
And the code is unique, it's generated for that file, and if you don't need it any longer, then you just say remove the code, and then you cannot overwrite it through the recording system any longer.
So when I call the star 50,
Yeah.
I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now in this situation you can't do anything because there is not a single file which is shared.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's it. And if you want to add a new one, as usual, just add it.
Mm-hmm.
But you can now export all custom prompts and import an archive with your prompt files.
Uh-huh.
And this brings us to the next feature. We improved the backup. Backup. We have two sorts of backup. We have the database backup and the entire system. The entire system is an ISO file with a live system. That's very, very useful, but it's big.
Yeah.
I think 1.5 gigabytes.
Yeah.
Or even a little bit more. The database backup was very, very small. I think 100K.
That is, in comparison, much, much smaller.
Yeah. Much, much smaller, not even a megabyte. And now we added all the prompts to the database backup. So you have, if you have a database backup, you have the database backup and the prompts you made.
That's quite handy because I mean you can automate the database backup.
Yes.
And then you include your prompt file, so you've always got an ongoing backup of what's happening.
Yes, and also with the files. In the past, we had a strict border between file system and database. So if you made a database backup, it was really only the database.
Okay.
This is handy because most of the things are in the database, but you lost your custom prompts if you only had a database backup. So now you have the prompts, and the only thing which is left is other file system files like voicemail, like fax, like recordings of calls.
Yeah.
But in most cases, you just send them by email. So
It's
they
true,
are
yeah.
already backed up somehow. So the database backup or this type of backup is almost complete now. And that's very, very good because it's small and lightweight, and you can migrate it easily between the systems, because if you have a backup of 7.8 mobydick and you import the backup in a 7.11, like we released today, then it just makes a migration of the data to the latest version. So it's really, really handy, it's lightweight and fast.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Cool, good.
So that's it so far.
Right then. In that case, we're sort of going to start on the core of what we're really here for, aren't we? Which means it's time to look at call labels and what we've actually done in that sort of direction.
Yes. We did a lot for call centers, contact centers. We said we recharged contact centers.
Yeah, it's sort of the main topic of design.
We really try to. And we made a lot of new features for call centers or contact centers, but we tried to make it this way that every customer can use it. Not only big call centers have advantage of the new abilities, but also smaller companies. And so we divided the feature up in two things. Call labels, which is easy and lightweight to use and useful for almost every installation, and skill-based routing, which is more complex, it does not depend on the users you have. You cannot say if you have only 5 users, then it's worthless for you. If you have 5 users and you have a complex setup, then it's also good for you.
Definitely,
but on the one hand, you have to have many users or a complex setup. So skill-based routing is for that. So we have those two features. And then we have another thing. We have a new integration in Qmatrix. We will see that later. And that enhances the features
that we've been building on for the last couple of releases anyway with Qmatrix.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. But I mean, before we go any further, it's probably a good idea to explain what a contact center actually is.
Yes.
So a contact center is, if you've got a business where you've got any form of team that needs to have any form of call distribution, so for example, a sales team or a support team, that's basically your contact center. So this is what the call labels is really comes into its own there with this.
Yeah.
Do you want to show us how?
Yes.
Cool. Take it away.
First, we have one slide to explain it. This is a customer who is calling. The customer enters his customer number, and we create a call label out of that. You can think about it like a Post-it. You just stick it on the call.
Yep.
Then it goes to Matthias. Matthias is not there, as usual. He will not answer the call. Then it goes further, and then we create a new call label, which is Matthias. And we also just stick it to the call. Then we call the support team. Our agent does not answer. Maybe he's not working. Maybe he's sleeping. I don't know.
Yeah.
Then we come out of the queue. Then we add another label where we say, this customer already waited 120 seconds in the support team queue.
Okay.
And then it connects to James. And James is always there and is always on the phone for you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then you will pick up the phone and then you can say, oh, hello customer, because he already entered the number.
Yep.
You try to reach Matthias and then you had to wait 120 seconds.
In the support team. Sorry about that, but I'm here to help you now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you are informed about the whole process.
Okay.
So what to say else about that is you can not only on other systems, you just see in the target, if you are the target of a call, you just see the last thing which was called was Matthias. The last thing was, I don't know. Or if you see more steps, then it's not very good, because if you see all steps, it's a little bit confusing.
Complicated, and it's not a very good overview.
So you can decide which step you want to track with a label and which not.
Okay.
And now we try to start very, very easy.
All right, okay.
So we have a phone here
Yep.
on the desk. You cannot see it. It's our happy customer. And he will call. And first I show you the configuration in mobydick and what we've done, what we had to do. You can find call labels here in the menu ACD for automatic call distribution.
Yep.
And we have some labels here. Don't think about what they are. I'm just explaining that one. This is just a generic label and it's called Matthias. And I will just put that label after somebody called me, that if I redirect the call somewhere else, you can see that the call was initially for me.
Right, okay.
So I go to the users.
Right at the bottom.
Yeah, it's sorted some differently sorted. Matthias. And here, after means after I did not answer the call, we set the label Matthias, and then we just do a redirect, a dropping to James.
Okay.
So you should see that the call initially was for me. And here we have two clients opened. The black one is mine.
Okay, yep.
The black side is my side, and you're on the...
Welcome to the light.
The light side, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Okay. So...
what we expect is you call me, 102.
Yep.
Then it should ring a little bit, I think 12 seconds, and then it should redirect to that one, and we should see that call label. Let's try it.
Let's give it a go.
Here is the happy customer calling for 12 seconds. 12 seconds are long.
Yeah.
Now, he's calling you, and you can see the call label. You can see he tried to reach Matthias. And if you answer the call now, you can say, oh, sorry, you tried to, I don't know.
But we don't need that anymore. Okay, so I mean, that's quite handy, because then I know what the original contact person I wanted to reach. What more can we do with call labels?
We can use them as variables in our dial plan. So we can just add some values to the label. You could not only say Matthias, you could say customer number equals 1234, something like this. And then you see the label, which is customer number, and the value of the label.
Right, okay.
So you can just put any information to the agent who answers.
That's quite handy, because I mean, you could have quite a few different sort of variables there, and you can then get the agent to answer the call in a real personal manner, identifying VIP customers and so on and so on.
Yes.
Yeah, it's quite cool.
You could also connect to a database, to your CRM system, for instance, and just put data out of there, maybe the last ticket number, something like this. So you could just do things like this. It's very, very handy, and I think there are many use cases for those labels. So we will take it one step further. And let's see, we have a new item, which is a call router. A call router just distributes calls. You can call him. He can set some labels, ask some questions, do something, and then he makes a decision. Okay, this call is for James, and then it goes to James.
Right.
So you just call the call router. So normally you just don't call it directly. You have an inbound rule. If somebody calls our number of our office, then go to that call router, do a decision, and then go to
where it should go.
Where it should go, yes, a team or a single person.
Okay.
So I have two different call routers there. Ask for customer number is the first one. So he uses our action concept. Actions are, if you're familiar to mobydick, these are the standard actions we have everywhere. You can just have actions before you call a user, before you call a team, after you call the team, stuff like this. And here we do just a new type of action that's inline script. So we have access to asterisk scripting engine here directly in the actions. So read.
That's cool.
That's cool, yeah. Read is a asterisk function, no, asterisk application, which we can call. We learned it in our asterisk tutorials.
We did,
and then we can just read some data into a label. You can see it's called MDC_label -6, 4 digits long. So how do I know that this is my label? I can show this. You can go to labels. And the labels like customer number has a channel variable name. So you can just use it in any script you want.
Okay.
In any asterisk script, in any inline mobydick script, wherever you want, and you can assign some value to that variable.
Okay.
And what we are doing now is you can call the call router. The call router asks you. He does not ask because we have no prompt.
Right, okay.
You directly have to type it in. So you type in a 4 digits telephone number, then you can call. 4 digits. And now I can see the customer number is set to, I knew that you will use 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, it's easy.
It's easy, it's fast. Just wait a little. And now the call goes to me because you did not answer. No, I did not answer, and now it comes to you. And here you can see now the collected labels. So the customer number and.
That originally it went to you first, trying to get hold of you, and now it's come to me.
Yes. So it collects as many or as less labels as you want.
That's quite handy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, hopefully it's handy.
No, it's very handy. I mean, because it's pretty cool. Because if, for example, a call, sometimes you just don't know where it's come from.
Yeah.
But to be able to track it from step to step and then have that displayed to your agent will really help the agent best serve the customer.
Yes, and the most important thing is you can define it dynamically. So the system does not just automatically store each step and then display all the steps, the 100 steps through your system.
You can just choose which ones are displayed.
Which one is displayed and which one is displayed in which point. So that's very, very handy, and you can include database requests and stuff like this to fill in data with useful information.
Cool. That is pretty cool.
Yeah, I hope that this is very useful for everyone and not only for call centers, but I think so.
I think it's got applications for most medium-sized business contact centers. So, cool. All right, so now we've got the call labels out of the way. That pretty much means that we're on to our main topic.
Yes.
Which you've already alluded to, is skill-based routing.
Yes.
What is skill-based routing?
Yes, we have to explain it, and there we have to have a look at some slides. Again, okay. Sorry for that, but we should do it. This is how many people just start to build teams. They have one team. For instance, this is just a support team. There is working Matthias, James, and Max, and the customer is calling. Then most people just create a team in mobydick, and then they say, distribute the call to all members, which is the most common configuration. Then it would ring at Matthias, at James, and at Max. Yep. Some people say one after the another, so first Matthias, then James, then
in
Max.
Parallel or sequential or whatever. It depends on your call strategy.
Yeah, they start with really simple, and then they find out that this is not enough. For instance, they need to separate German and English customers because not everybody can talk English. So the skill is not there in some persons. And not everybody can talk German. So you have to make two teams. One for the English callers, one for the German callers, and then you attach your agents. This one can talk German, this one can talk German and English, this one can talk only English, maybe. So you have to distribute your agents. And the situation gets worse, like this. Maybe not every agent can answer every question. So in our example, we have the topic Linux, the topic Windows, and the topic Mac. So Matthias can answer questions in German regarding Mac. He can answer questions in English regarding Linux, for instance. And this goes on and on and on. And the problem is, every time you say "and," you have to multiple the teams. I make an example. You say, I want somebody who is German speaker and Linux and works for the project XYZ or for the label XYZ.
Exactly,
Then you have already 3. And let's say you have 4 languages, you have 10 skills, then you have 40 queues, then you're working for 2 brands. As usual in a contact center, you're working for more brands.
80 queues.
Then you have 80 queues? No.
More.
80? No, 80 is right. 4, 5, 10.
Times 2.
That's true. We figured it out. So that's a lot of teams, and you have exponential growth of your teams.
And managing them and reviewing the performance and so on becomes very, very complicated.
And let's think about, you get a new employee. Then you have to think about, he can speak German. Okay. To which topic should I add him? To which language can I add him? And so on and so on. So
and you'd have to manually add him per queue, per skill. And
if he gets a new skill, then you have to create new queues, new teams and stuff like
that. That could take forever.
Yeah, that's true. So we need a solution.
Okay, what is it?
The solution is skill-based routing for sure.
Just as well we have it, really, isn't it?
Yeah, that's really good. The next slide we have for that is the same situation as before and just back to one team. How does this work? A customer calls and then he gets some labels. Those labels are skills, special type of label, but it's a label. And then it goes into the team, and then you can see here every member has some skills. He can speak German, English, and Linux, Mac, Linux, Windows, English, Windows, Mac. So if someone calls and has those labels, then
in this scenario, you're the only person who can answer it.
Yeah, I'm always the only person who can answer something. But yes, only my phone.
But you're never there.
Yeah, that's true. That's a mess. That's a problem. But maybe we have to just change the skills a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Everything is fine. So that's quite easy. And the question is now how you get those skills. So you won't get them from alone. No, you just call a call router, as I explained before, and maybe you have a call router for English, and then you get automatically
the label English.
The English label. And then you make an IVR, press 1 for Mac, press 2 for Linux, press 3 for I don't know. Then he presses in the IVR, and there are already also the actions in there. And then you have an action which adds a new label, and which is Mac or Linux or something.
And it further defines where the call should end up.
Yes.
Cool.
So you can have many points in the mobydick system where you can just add labels. One is the IVR, where you can really ask, or you can have the call router which you call, or you can do some decisions in inbound rules. If this is a call from England, then maybe he wants to speak English.
Yeah, it could be the case, yeah.
It could be the case, and not only the target, but also the source of the call could be used for labeling something. So you don't have to ask the user in 5 IVR menus, are you really sure that you want to speak English? Or are you really sure that you want Mac support? So you can find some things out automatically.
Which is handy.
Add them as call labels.
Okay.
Let's see how this works.
Okay. So, you ready?
No, first.
Oh.
Hands off that phone. First, I have to explain what we did. We have 2 skills. We made it really easy. We have German and English as skill. You add them, just say add, and just say not the generic label, but the skill. If you have defined it as skill, you can attach it to a user. You can say he has the skill English, he has the skill, I don't know.
Whatever, maybe.
Yeah. A generic label cannot be added to a user, so that's the only difference.
Okay, gotcha.
Those are the two labels we need. Then we go to our users. And then we say James and Matthias, edit. And then we can see the tab skills. And we can see that you are able to speak English. Then you can attach a level. What does this mean? If you just say 1, then you just say, okay, he can speak English, he cannot speak English. That's for most installations, that's okay. Because you want to have somebody who can speak English, who knows something about Linux, for instance. So that's okay for you. But you could do it also very, very detailed. You can say, I want somebody who can speak 80% English.
So you can quantify it as well with a numerical value. Okay, cool.
You can change it. Maybe it's handy, maybe not. Sometimes it is. Maybe you have for very important people, you have a special line, and you want that somebody knows 100% about Linux, not only 50%. So maybe not about the language, but about the topic,
the product itself. Yeah.
Maybe it's useful. So we can just compare values. If you don't want to use that, just use 1.
Yeah. Okay.
So see what's next. I for sure can speak German. And that's it. You can speak German, I can speak English, no, the other way around. Then we apply the configuration. And then we have two things. We have a team. The team is support, and we both are members in that team. So you are a member and I'm a member, and if you call the team directly, then it just would do what's defined here. It would do ring also. Both of our phones are just ringing.
Right, okay.
And to enable skill-based routing, you have to choose script skill-based routing. But it's only working if there are really skills set. If not, it just works like a normal team.
Right.
So only if skills are set. So if you directly, we will try that, if you directly call 201, which is the extension of the team, both of our phones will just ring.
Okay.
But there is a call router, and this is for support in English. And here we have set English to 1, so we need somebody who can speak English, and just redirect the call now to the support queue.
Okay.
Let's see what happens. First, please call the team. The team is the 201. So now we can see the happy customer is calling. We can for sure see that he's calling the support team, but we could this before. And now maybe you or me is just answering. That's it.
Okay.
So, but now call please another number, which is 9001. This is the call router. And now just your phone is ringing because he wants to speak to somebody who is able to speak English.
Yep.
And you can also see the label in the client, and you know that you should answer the call in English.
Yeah.
But you can mix the labels also. There could also be the customer number in there and stuff, so you can mix skills and labels for sure.
Right, okay.
In the system.
That's pretty cool.
Yes, that's pretty cool, and it's very, very easy to implement. And if you have a new employee, just add a new user, say he can do this, that, and that one, and then you don't have to think about your whole call routing, he just will adapt.
Because you've only got one queue.
Yes, you have only one queue where you add him, add the skills, and you're finished.
Much, much quicker and easier.
Yeah.
Cool. Good.
That was.
All right. Well, that's the real big part of skill-based routing. But the other part of any contact center is analyzing performance and so on.
Yes.
What have we done there?
Yes, we made something very good, and I hope you like it. What we did is we implemented a new integration of Qmatrix. Who doesn't know Qmatrix a little bit? I will explain a little bit what Qmatrix is. Qmatrix is a call center solution where you can just do reporting.
Right.
Not only live reporting,
but also historical data reporting for analysis and so on.
yes, and you can do that very detailed. You can say, I want to see the performance of a single agent from the last month, or you can say the whole team,
Right.
or you can have some quality factors, how fast were the calls answered, how many people, how many calls were not answered,
Right.
and why they were not answered, stuff like this. So it's really, really detailed. We had a support for Qmatrix before.
True.
We just pushed the data of mobydick to Qmatrix, but only the call data, so the live data.
Right.
And Qmatrix stored it and made some reports. Now we're also pushing more data, like the agents, like the queues, like the skills. So you don't have to touch Qmatrix at all.
That's quite handy.
It's just kind of synchronization. And that's very, very handy, I think. And let's see what Qmatrix can do for you. It can do many things, but just the most important one. You can choose the queue. We only have the support queue. And then you can say, I want to start real-time monitoring. Now you see the queue, and it makes a reload every 5 seconds. So James, please call 9002 again. You have to... 9002
It's the wrong one.
It's the wrong one.
We need 9001.
Yes.
There we go.
So you can see the support queue, and you can see that there is somebody who called support and wants to talk English, and nobody answered it for 11 seconds, 16 seconds, blah, 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 blah. Like this. So this is the live view, which is refreshed or reloaded every 5 seconds. Yeah.
But you mentioned that we can do also more in-depth reporting, not just the live view.
We will go back there for the purpose. We can say, show us what happened today. Today is a very sad day because we did some testing already. We have 16 unanswered calls, 100% unanswered calls. That's not good.
No.
You can see all call statistics. Nobody answered something. You can see the quality factor, which is not even existing because nobody did answer any call.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we just answer one. Try it again, please. Call the number. I tried to answer. This one is the happy customer. I answer. There are some loops, audio loops. Hang up. Let's see if it is really live. Maybe I just have to reload the statistic. Hopefully.
Fingers crossed. Yeah,
yes.
There we go. Good.
6% answered.
Well, it's an improvement.
Yes, it's better than before. 5.9% answered.
We're moving in the right direction.
We have better statistics now. We have a very good quality level now because we answered very quickly. Within 5 seconds. Now
within 10 seconds.
Within 10 seconds, 100%.
You had to find your client first.
Yeah, that's true. Disconnect causes caller disconnected and stuff like this. And more stuff like this, and even more stuff like this. And
it goes on and on and on.
On and on. But now, the interesting part, required skills English. So 12 people wanted to talk to somebody who could talk English. One only was answered. And 11 were not answered, required skills on lost calls. So you can see very, very detailed statistics of the whole queue, but also for one agent. You could also do a report for one agent.
Okay.
But what's very, very interesting and what's new and what we did together with Lawway, which is the vendor of Qmatrix, is we can run custom reports which can filter for the skills. So I can say I want a report which just mentions the English skills, and then I can save it, run it as report or as real-time monitor, as I've shown before. And then what's the magic about that? You just could say, I just want to see calls which are in English. And I want my quality factor for the English calls, or I want the quality factor for the questions about Linux, or the questions
for
about,
example, in theory, I mean, if you had a full-flown call center here, you could, say, for example, give your supervisor access to it, and he's the supervisor of all the English-speaking team, and he says, okay, I want to see just the English-related stuff, and the other guy says the French, Italian, Spanish, German, whatever it may be.
That's true, and that's good that you mentioned that. You can log into Qmatrix, and you can use the same user credentials because we are authenticating against mobydick. And if mobydick authenticates against Active Directory, for instance, then you can do a single sign-on through the whole system. And you can even have very detailed access rights in Qmatrix also, that somebody can only see those reports and that data. So it's really, really good. I think it really fits the needs of larger
contact center, call center. That's a pretty powerful tool.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, is there anything more on the Qmatrix side of things? I don't think there is there?
No.
No, good.
Well, there are 100 and I don't know things in Qmatrix, but it's too much for now.
Okay. So that basically means we're going to open it up to any questions now. So if you've got some questions, start posting. And I'm going to get this little tablet out and see if anybody's asked us any questions so far. Okay, so first questions come in, and it's about the call labels.
Yes.
Okay, and how many call labels can we actually use at one time?
As much as you want.
Okay.
Until the database explodes.
Right,
no,
okay.
It makes no sense, for sure. If you have too many call labels, then it's confusing for the agent, because we display them in the mobydick client and it gets longer and longer and longer, and I think it will scroll down a little bit after a while, and it's just not handy. But that's the advantage. You can have as many as you want, but you should only put them which are really interesting for your calls. So if you have all those skills available and somebody chooses the skills, then I think in the most situation 3 or 4 skills
is enough.
Is enough.
Yeah.
And the label that he waited already for, I don't know how long, is also interesting. But all the other thing you should just not display. You should really just display what the agent really needs in that situation. So
it's always a good idea to really prioritize which labels are the ones that are most important. Okay,
yes.
Good. All right then. It's another related question. If you've got lots of call labels, we sort of already answered it. Can you prevent them from showing? Yes, you can.
Yes.
We've already answered it pretty much.
Yes, you can, but yes, you can and you cannot. You can just not set them, but maybe you want that you have to set them because we store them also in the database, and you want to disable them, and that's something we cannot do for now. For the future plans, it's planned that you can say edit, and you should say do not show in the client. And then you just do not show them, but you have them for statistic purposes.
Okay.
So
right, okay.
Maybe that's useful in the future.
Okay, cool. Then a Qmatrix related question. Do you need additional licenses for Qmatrix, or is it included?
No, it's not included. It's
Sorry.
Sorry.
But you can get it directly from us.
Yes, of course. It's another company, it's Lowway, and for sure he has his own licensing. Yeah. And you have to pay for it, but not that much. You can go to the Lowway website, and it starts at I think 1,000 and I don't know euros or dollar. I'm not sure.
Swiss francs. It's a Swiss company.
Okay. It's not that expensive. So if you really need it because it's your daily work, then I think it's almost cheap. Yeah.
And before what it can do and the way it integrates, it's a pretty cost-effective tool, I think. Okay. Cool. And now we've got another question coming in. It's about languages.
Yes.
We've got the client up and we've got a question saying, is it only available in English?
No. It's available in more languages than English. This specific client is available in English, German, and Spanish. We have also
Arabic has been integrated as well, because thanks to our new partner in Dubai. We've also got Serbians come in, and it's quite simple, really. I mean, if anyone wants to translate the client, and all they have to do is get in contact with us, and we can send you a template.
And it's work, but it's not that much work, because you get an Excel file. It's I think 400 entries, but only single words, not whole sentences.
I mean, you can see it here. I mean, language, theme, received, file folder. It's not that complicated.
Like so you're welcome if you want to do some translations for us.
But
the main question is it multi-language?
Yes.
Is it supporting multi-language? And yes, it is, and it's designed for it.
Okay, cool. Now we've got another question just come in. It's about the Astral scripts. Can you use call labels in the Astral scripts or the Astral APIs?
Yes, and that's very, very powerful. I mentioned it already a little bit. If you go back here to the call labels, you can edit a call label, and then you can always see the channel variable for it. And you can use it in all your asterisk scripts, HAIs and stuff, and you can just remote control that variable. You just set it to another value or something, and then mobydick notices that and just manipulate the channel variable. And even better, you can use it also over the REST API and set it to something. And we did also some integrations for the mobydick client. There is something which is called Flex Panel, which is a panel which you can completely customize and design as you like. And there we have some switches and I don't know, sliders. I call it sliders, where you can just manipulate the variables in the Flex panel, and maybe you can move the skill up and down or the priority up and down.
That's quite cool. I mean, that's again another useful tool for supervisors or team managers or so on. Okay, cool. All right then. So just another fresh. See what we've got. Just waiting. It looks like you've answered all the questions.
That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you for all the questions. If you have further questions, just post them in our forum. We will answer them. I really like to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, I mean, all you have to do is just go to community.pascom.net and post some threads in there, and we'll answer them. So I think that's about it for today's release keynote. So all that's left to be said is thanks for watching.
Thank you, and see you in the next videos.
Yeah, take care.